Let's set the tone, a bottle of red wine and pheromones. The conversation flows, a couple of hours, see how it goes. I really trust my senses, catch me if I fall. So done with second guessing, you seem to have it all. In loving not for anything emotional too soon. You got my invitation, now the rest is up to you.
So I followed the lead of my good buddy Mike Sanchez, who makes window tint videos, and strapped on the GoPro. It kind of made my corona hair stand up a little bit today. I haven't had a haircut in about a month and a half, so gotta see if I can get a haircut somewhere. Maybe I can go to the dog groomers, I don't know. But anyhow, so recorded the whole process with my GoPro on my head, kind of give you a POV of doing this hood. So they look intimidating and can be intimidating, but they're once you understand it, and you'll probably have a better understanding after you watch me install it. It'll be much easier for you, and you won't have so much fear, whether it be one of these hoods or say a Dodge hood or the Chevy, the what else is there? There's the Cadillac, the Escalade hood, or the Tahoe hood. Those are all kind of a pain in the ass, and all kind of have this drop-off valley right here. And this is where everybody kind of gets into trouble with this whole section right here. So I'm gonna change over to the GoPro here and let you watch me install this film. Okay, so we're gonna put a partial hood on this F-150 here. First thing I'm gonna check is make sure I'm good on alignment. When you do these partials, it's good to do the fenders first if you're gonna do a bulk hood, that way you can get it lined up. Same thing even with a kit. You wanna do the fenders first and then do your hood piece, that way you can get these lined up pretty good. So that lines up really good there. I've got a proper amount of overhang there and a good amount of overhang over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is anchor this in the center, and this is just a temporary anchor here. We'll release this, but since I don't have anybody really to hold the other side for me, we'll do it like this. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to make sure that this is good and saturated with our slip, and give it a tug like so. So I'm taking out the slack like that. So I've got that lined up pretty good. So let's put a little alcohol tack solution right here, and we'll get this anchored down. Grab that, make sure this is going to stay. I'm going to go over to the other side and give it a tug on the other side here. A little more slip in here. Hope you guys can understand squeegee. Make sure that's lined up there. All right, let's see what we're working with here. I think that's going to work. All right, so now I'm gonna anchor it right here in this corner. You see me pull it down right here, and I'm gonna tack it onto this. And you see how I'm just kind of moving the film, looking where I'm going to get fingers, where the best stretch is going to be on this. Okay, we got a good there. That looks good. We'll come back over to this side and do the same thing over here. And I'm a little hung up here. All right, we've broken that loose. Give us a little tug here. This seems to need a little more stretch. I think it needed a little more stretch going down that way. So we'll anchor this here. And now we can kind of mess with this a little bit. Get this good and anchored here. Checking both sides here, make sure everything's looking straight. Got a good anchor there. So now I can come back and I can release this so I don't end up with a line here from stretching it. And before I release it, I'll let you look at this and see how it's all kind of cattywampered now. Stuff's stuck pretty good. All right, got that down there. And I'll look at this again and make sure that we're going to be looking good here. Just checking everything. I'm doing some swipes up here just to kind of see how everything's going to lay. And I think that's going to work. So I'll get this going here first. We might have to give it a little tug up there to help it out. And we got that. And I'm gonna kind of take that off that way so it's not running back here, opening my film up. Come over here and we'll do this one as well. That's gonna look good. And we got that. So that's down. Now what I'll do is I'll lock this down here. If I need to pull and stretch this in any direction here, it'll be this way because the film's pulled that way. So see how it kind of wants to bunch up here. So pulling it down this way is going to kind of relieve some of that pressure going this way. I'll anchor this with a little tack here. All right, so we're gonna, battery went dead on the camera there for a second. So we're gonna bring this over a little bit because it had a chance to dry here. And I don't want to create a washboard effect. And we're gonna squeegee this up. I'm just gonna send that. Somebody standing over there, they'd be getting drenched right now, but I'm just kind of sending that moisture off that way, and I'm scanning here, making sure I don't leave any excess moisture behind, looking for debris. All right, and I got a big pocket. I don't know if you see that big pocket right there. Certain colors, it's hard to see. any pockets of moisture you may have. So I'm just scanning it, looking, making sure we get it all. And I have a little bit that somehow got in here. Zipper that up. All right, we'll come over here. I'm gonna lock this down here and then work this up. Send that moisture off to the side. And you can just kind of come through and spray this right here and make sure that this is all gonna stay locked down. All right, so we'll hit this up here. And I'm gonna lift this real quick just to make sure that I don't leave any dry marks in it and make sure I get a good lock going on it. It has a little bump right here, so that tells me it's gonna kink up right there. So I'm gonna lift it and kind of pull it down a little bit more. Make sure I don't have that kink there. And this, I'm pulling it here, but I'm not pulling it so much here. And what I'm doing is I'm redistributing the film over to this side over here, over this way. And then lift this and just give it a little slight tug down and make sure that these fingers are going to go away, which they are. And now we'll lock this down here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of slip up in there just so I can get that down. You hear that suction? It's got good suction. So I'll spray in here and make sure you have a little bit on top. Hold it and squeegee it. It's that easy. Now you don't want to walk away and leave this open here. That'll end up leaving a line. So I always just kind of, I don't want to lift and release all the tension here because you'll end up with a line. So I'm just trying to rinse some tack solution down inside of there, and I'll do it the same from the bottom now. We'll try to get some shot up in here. Like so. So we're good there. This is going pretty quick. And again, I'm just going to leave this until I finish this over here. So come here and get this down here. I've got a little bit of a drying going on here. So what I'm going to try to do is raise this and I'll flood it. Now I'm going to see how I can kind of bring moisture back into here by doing that. So now I've released it, and look, shit runs downhill here, and I've got either an arm hair or an eyelash or something that slid down in there. So be cautious of what lands up here, because it's going to roll down. Squeegee that out, that looks good. Hit that ridge there. We'll squeegee this all out. Send it off to the side. And just double check. Time to hit this one. This one doesn't have that little bump there like we had on the other side, so I don't have to worry about it too much, but because it's been sitting for a while, I'm just gonna kind of lift it and make sure everything's good underneath here before I proceed. That's looking good there. And here we go with our other side. See if we can get the suction theme going here again. Now, if you look here, the way that is, see, that's not going to work. So you can tackle this one of two ways. You can flush it with a bunch of alcohol and bring it down this way and try to get it to lock that way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to relift this here, and I'm going to come all the way back up to that ridge there. And I'm just going to give it a little more pull forward here. And by pulling it forward, it's going to take away that excess slack that wants to build up in here. Stuff's slippery today. All right, so I'm going to check and just make sure I didn't leave a line here where I had to stretch it a little bit more. Now you can see that I don't have that washboard effect. So we can go on with that. If you want, you can maybe flush a little alcohol down in here while this is still open. I'm having a sprayer malfunction here. So that's locked in there really good. We don't have to worry about coming back to that. We've got alcohol in here now. Just put a little slip on top. Take your finger, or you can take the palm of your hand, and there we go. Oh, and it popped. Look at that. Not too bad, but it popped. So put some slip back on top. It's locked. And if you noticed, after I got that done, squeegee that, instead of continue to pull up here, because I did have a slight little ripple there, I brought the solution out to the side, and that was to eliminate any chance of creating those lines that you might see if you squeegee over something and it kind of compresses the film, or the film actually kinking on itself. So I'm looking at it here in the light. I'm using that overhead light there and just looking back and forth, and everything looks good. We're all locked down there. And we'll finish this up by locking this front edge down. All right, guys, that's it for this one. It's time to deliver this truck. Hope you got some value out of this. If you did, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.